Welcome everyone to this week's Founder Chat. I'm really excited to introduce everyone to Tomoko Okochi. I'm so sorry. How do you pronounce your last name?
Okochi.
Okochi. Tomoko Okochi. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. So Tomoko is oh my gosh, I have the wrong information here, unfortunately. I see. Tell us,
Yeah.
what role do you play at Codeca?
I'm a
Goodness
CEO
gracious.
and co-founder of Codeca. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I had that written down, but then I just got flustered and
No worries.
concerned that I'd written down the wrong thing. So everyone, very, very excited to meet you to introduce you to Tomoko. I've known Tomoko now since 2018. I have down here, I had to look in my notes because I was like, it's been a long time. And I know that we first met you through as a student. You were a student at Langara, and Paul was one of the instructors, and I was a guest instructor, and you were one of our pitch event attendees. And then in November 2018, I have written down that you got up on the stage for one of our women's pitch events, and you earned second place at that event for the first one that you ever got up on stage at. And then you kind of honed your pitch and you kept working on it and came back in 2019 at both Volition Pitch Night in Vancouver, as well as the one that you mentioned in July 2019 over in Seattle, and also placed there. So it's been like, and then of course we also had you at our second year anniversary come and talk about what you were doing. So I haven't heard an update on Codeca for a long time, and so I'm really excited to dig into this. And for anyone who's not been to one of these founder chats before, we've been doing them since April of 2020. So we've done just under 40 of them now. And essentially it's kind of a 30-minute, fairly casual interview with incredible founders in our community. We want to encourage everyone, whether you're joining us here live right now, or whether you're coming later. I'm seeing some familiar faces here in the room. So whether you're here now or you join us later on IGTV or YouTube, if you have questions for Tomoko, please do throw that in the chat. Please engage. Let us know who you are. We always like to see that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through what is kind of the origin stories of Codeca, and a little bit about what you've learned as an entrepreneur, what that journey has looked like, and what your vision is kind of going forward. So I'm going to stop kind of like, oh, I'm also Melanie, by the way. I always forget to say who I am. So I'm Melanie Yu, and I'm the managing partner of Volition, one of the managing partners of Volition. So I'm going to stop kind of rambling on and pass it over to you, Tomoko. If you can just kind of start off with, I guess, like that sound bite of what is Codeca, and then let's get into that origin story.
Yeah, sure. So Codeca is a company name. Our product has a different name. So our product C3D is an online VR coding platform that works on a web browser, and it makes coding education really exciting and engaging for students and kids in general. But at the same time, it makes the coding education easy for teachers. So with C3D, you can learn to code while creating your VR world, like your own VR animation or VR game. And then once you're ready, with one click, you can view it with 360 VR using your phone. Again, just a web browser on your phone, no special app needed. And then use something like this, a cardboard headset that's very affordable. I got this at Miniso for $4.
Amazing.
It's a really cutting edge solution. Yeah, so that's our product. So the origin story, okay. So I am a programmer, and also my expertise is agile project management, so software project management. But I was personally looking for a solution that makes introduction to coding very fun and engaging, because being a programmer and a mom at the same time, I get asked to teach coding at schools. Like my kids' school teachers would ask me, Tomoko, I heard you're a programmer. Can you come teach coding to the class of students? And then I realized that many teachers feel that they are not ready to teach coding, and they have kind of mental block. And at the same time, I saw that every time that there is a number of, like a handful of kids in the class who get really excited in coding and they get on it right away. But then there are a bunch of kids at the back of the classroom who go like, I'm not interested in coding. Like, this is too difficult. So I really wanted the right solution. And then I met Jason Madar at Langara College. He is a co-founder of Codeca, and he had this prototype of the online VR coding platform. I've never seen something like that before. So he used this cutting edge experimental technology called VR to make this possible. And when I saw it, I knew that I found that solution. So that's how we started it. But I wasn't too sure if this is something viable. This is something that market wants. So we entered New Venture BC competition in 2019 because we wanted the idea to be validated, right? And then we got selected to be in top 25 out of over 200 companies. And half of the judges, at least half of the judges, were so excited about this product. And then the other half of the judges gave me really nice advice and feedback. So we felt, okay, this is a go. So we developed V1 and then we released it. And right now it's used in schools and by individuals. So that's where we are.
That's amazing. That's really exciting to hear. I think it's really interesting hearing your story of coming from like a programmer to launching this business. So I'd be curious to hear, where like, were you entrepreneurial to begin with? Was this your first venture? Kind of like what like brought you into this kind of startup world and gave you kind of like that I don't know, whatever that intangible thing is to kind of keep going with this?
Yeah, so I wasn't thinking of doing a startup at all. I was more about looking for a solution out there that I can use to make introduction to coding easy. But then I found this solution, and then it wasn't ready for the market yet. At that point, it was a prototype. Then I thought, well, this is something that I need to do to make this available for everyone. So yeah, I didn't really plan to be an entrepreneur. So that's how it was. So we just started as two co-founders, both with tech background, which I think you might not want to do if you think startup. That's lessons learned, right? Like, you might want to have a team with a variety of skills and experience, because I had to learn, I know technology, but I had to learn business, sales, marketing, finance by myself, and I can't say that was easy, like, so that's lessons learned.
Absolutely. That's amazing. I see Jason is here as well. Hello.
Hey, Jason.
I see more and more people joining, so please do, again, say hello, and if you have questions for Tomoko, throw that in the chat. But no, that's fantastic. And I know, I'm curious, so you're saying that your product's already being used in different schools around. Where did you say that you're present? In British Columbia and Canada? Like, what's that looking like right now?
So current in British Columbia. I hope you are connected. I see the loading thing.
It's a little bit,
talking.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar, the educational technology sales cycle is notoriously slow. It's once in a year. So we released V1 in September of 2019. And fall 2019 was the lead acquisition period for 2020-2021 school year. So it's a long process.
Wow.
So I got some schools interested, and then got the purchase order, but some of them had to cancel due to pandemic. You might think schools are not affected by pandemic, but many of them were, because their budget relied on international student tuition, and majority of international students went back home. So I had to have this very sad conversation with the teachers, like, who are already very excited about using C3D, that they have to give up for this year. But some did purchase and they started using it. So they are the first group of school customers. But because we lost some of the sales projected with those schools canceling the purchase order, we quickly did a pivot to B2C. Many kids are at home and parents want them to learn coding. So we implemented a subscription for the individual user. My wonderful lead developer, Jean, she made this possible in a very quick turnaround. So we have individual users right now too.
That's incredible. I just want to I want to celebrate that. And it sounds like, as someone was saying in the chat here, you have a very inspiring story. And I just love that you started from that place of like, I just want to solve this problem. Is there a solution out there? There is maybe a solution that's going to work. How am I going to get this and make this happen? Like, I understand the pain points of the teachers and the students, and like, you understood all of these elements of who you were building this for and why. And it sounds like you just kind of like listened to and worked with your customers at every step of the way, the end user and your customer. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. And something that, I mean, you say you didn't intend to be an entrepreneur, but it's such an entrepreneurial spirit, and being able to pivot as well. That's during such a hard time over the last year. I think it's something that's incredible. I hope that you have celebrated that as a team. It's really amazing to have been able to do that. So congratulations on where you've gotten to so far in building this. Amazing. So what does the next stage look like? What does 2021 look like? What does kind of like what is your vision for C3D, for Codeca, either or? I'll hand it over to you on that.
Sure. So not really a short-term vision, but we have this big vision, long-term goal. So we want C3D to be a tool to promote like smooth transition to the world where everybody knows coding concepts like they know math operations. You might think it's not going to happen, but it will, because coding is now a mandatory part of school curriculum in many countries. And we want to help teachers to feel ready for that, so that the kids can be taught those coding concepts without feeling this is not for them. So that's something we want to promote. And by promoting that, we are also promoting the kids to be ready for their future, because things like computational thinking or design thinking skills, that's useful. Actually, it's useful in many other job categories. You know, the landscape of the job market is changing so rapidly, but those skills, logical thinking skills, that will help them. So that's what we want to do in the long term. So anything we do for the short time would be just a step toward that goal. Of course, we have to sell for the next school year, and there has been challenge with doing the educational technology conferences online. EduTech conference is the main avenue for selling to teachers. That's how EduTech companies get in front of the teachers, but it's online, and then it was really not easy for us to let the teachers know we are there. So like I had to send over 1,000 individual message on the platform during the week to notify them we were there. So there's certain challenge because of everything being online, but the next step would be really getting more customers, more schools sign up for next school year, so that we can reach that long-term vision. Yeah.
I love that. So you've already shared some really great lessons learned around not maybe expanding beyond two technical co-founders and having other people on the team with other expertise, although it sounds like you've done incredibly well. I'm sure you've built out a team, and I'd love to hear about your team as well. But you also talked about like working, listening to and working with your customers, of course, and then putting in that kind of hard work of reaching out to 1,000 people in a week because you realized that they weren't hearing you. Like that's an incredible lesson to learn as well. And I'd be curious, would you have any other kind of tips? And like I know like in general entrepreneurship, but I know edutech is a difficult kind of area to get into for many different reasons that you've already talked about. So if there's anyone who is maybe starting out today in that space in particular, are there any particular kind of tips or advice that you would give to one of those new entrepreneurs?
Well, this is not just related to edutech field, but I like strongly recommend that they build a network to support them. That's how I got here with just two tech co-founders. I quickly realized I need a network of people to support me and support us. So, and I wasn't local. I don't have a local community here in Canada. I was new to Canada. So I recommend that they build the network. And speaking for the edutech field, the different kind of network is important, that you need to know people who can talk to teachers, who's connected to schools. And what's working for us right now is talking to other companies selling to schools that we may be able to combine our offerings, right? Already have sales network, and then so those kind of partnership and building the channel sales network, those things are very important. So just having the product is not enough. So the network in educational field is something indispensable, I think.
Yeah, amazing. Yes. And so I come from a family of teachers. My sister's a teacher and my dad was a teacher as well. My mom was at once upon a time as well. And so I think like every time I talk to someone who's building edutech or anything in the education space in general, it just lights me up that you actually like talk to teachers and talk to people, and you find people who know how to, like you said, find people who know how to talk to teachers. And because if you're building these kinds of products for them to use, it's incredible how many founders or teams that we work with that haven't actually like connected with the person who's going to be using it to teach the kids. So I absolutely love that. In general, like you said, building network, really important. But even not even more so, but if you're in a particular space, and especially if you don't come from, like if you're not an expert in that particular space, like education system, finding people who are and who can support you on that journey is amazing. Again, I'm so in awe, like someone said, it's very inspiring of like all of the steps that you've taken. It seems from the outside perspective looking back, like a very intentional plan. I don't know if it felt that way to you, but in looking at your story, it's really incredible. So I'd love to know a little bit more also about your team. And I know that another thing that's really near and dear to my heart, and that I know is also near and dear to yours, is promoting gender equality in the tech industry. And you've talked a little bit about how you do that within your team, but there's also many other ways that you help spread the joy of coding to young girls, as you said in our previous conversation. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that and about your team.
Yeah, sure. So tech team is made up of mainly female developers. It's funny, like I'm so passionate about promoting the gender equality in the tech industry, but I didn't intentionally do this. I just picked people who have the skills. Now it's mainly female, but I think that's great. Like, I didn't even do it intentional, but we are you know, mainly female developer team, and I think it's a good representation in a way to the general public and also to children, because when we do online classes, right now I do online classes, sometimes I hear from the teacher that this is the first time we have female teacher teaching coding, right? And that's really important, that the girls in the classroom feel that they're represented in a way. So yeah, so okay, I deviated. So that
no, it's fine. I love it.
Mainly female, so that's important. And what I do, so this is my personal passion. I've had this for a long time because I worked in the tech industry over 2 decades, and I was always a minority in terms of gender, and so I really wanted to promote the gender equality in the tech industry. So I was wondering how I can do that. And like I said, I go to schools to teach coding. And then sadly, the reality is it's always female teachers who say, coding is not my thing. Tomoko, you're wonderful, you can teach this. I just can't do this. And they say that not, they might feel that, okay, even the teacher is not comfortable with coding. And then when it's a female teacher, I know that it has negative impact. So that's something I really wanted to change. So I accept high school girls as apprentice to C3D development team. So they get to monitor how we do the software development. And also if they are eager, like, I give them actual project to work on. So they work as a part of the team. So over the summer, we have students in the development as an apprentice. And, you know, that's how I want to give them an opportunity to get inspired, right? And also for the little girls, I think C3D is a great tool that they can use their creativity along with the coding skills to create something exciting, visually appealing. So that's how I am trying to promote the future gender equality in the tech industry.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing with that. Is there anywhere, where would be like a good place if people want to learn about how you did that? We, with my nonprofit, or the nonprofit that I'm on the board at, Women in Tech World, we're often asked by people, how do we find women who are developers? How do we connect with girls who are interested in coding and do exactly what you're doing? Is there anywhere people could talk to you about your journey with that, or have you like written about it or talked about it? Or I guess I'm trying to understand like how people can do exactly what you're doing. Like, how do we replicate what you're doing is my question, I guess.
Oh, okay. So I encourage them to try C3D if they are individuals or parents, and if they in educational field, I recommend that they reach out to me so they can test out C3D and how it engages the whole class. It's like every time I did, I taught the class full of students, I got this feedback from teachers. I've never seen every kid engaged in coding. Wow. We have photos on our website that shows literally every kid really trying hard, because C3D requires you to use your creativity And actually that really excite kids, right? And they're also used to VR and 3D through video games. So that really encouraged them. So I hope they try C3D. And with their teachers, we have lesson plans that helps them deliver the coding curriculum while keeping it really exciting for both genders or any gender. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right. So if you didn't catch it, I don't think we've actually said what the website is yet. So please do check out www.c3d.io. And is there anywhere else, if anyone wanted to get in touch with you directly, Tomoko, what would be the best place for them to do that?
So they can email me at info@c3d.io, and also there's a contact form on the website that might look like for teachers, but you can use it to reach out to me. Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. Okay. So if anyone wants to try out C3D, if you're in the education space and you want to get in touch with Tomoko and her team, please do make sure to do that. It looks really amazing. I was looking on your website earlier today, and I'm just so blown away by how far it's come. I know it's been like a few years now, but it feels like just yesterday sometimes. So it's really, really amazing. So is there anything that we haven't talked about here today that you were wanting to touch on?
So I have just one great news I'd love to share. The C3D is now fully compatible with iPhone. It was before, but then Apple changed some algorithm and then we had to adapt to that. But again, our wonderful lead developer, Jean, made this happen. I'm just blessed with a wonderful team of female developers.
Amazing. I'm sure they would say the same about working with you. It sounds like you have a great team. So amazing. That's really exciting news. I love it. I love hearing all of these wins. And I hope you keep sharing with us your wins over the next however long, forever, hopefully. But even like this year, I know it's been a tough year, and it sounds like you put a lot of work into reaching out to those people in the education space. So I hope that that pays off in dividends for you and your team, of course. So the last thing that I always like to ask at the end of these chats is, what is one thing that brings you joy right now?
Oh, the excited faces of children when I do online class. I have, online class with a company called the Urban Camp that provides online coding lessons to Latin American countries. And I've had a class with them recently. I have another one next week. And every time I see the face over Zoom, see the faces of children light up when they get to see their creation with the VR headset. And that's something that brings me joy.
That's amazing. Yay. Yeah, I see the Urban Camps on here saying yay. And then we have people saying you're a great teacher, Tomoko. So thank you everyone who's also joined here today, and for your support of Tomoko and of C3D. And we really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Tomoko, for taking your time here today to share your story, and to share some of your incredible lessons learned. It really has been, it sounds like it's been an amazing journey, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So thank you so much for being here. And everyone else who's here in the audience, or if you're watching this later on IGTV and YouTube, I know lots of people are watching later, please do feel free to reach out. Please feel free to ask questions. If you have a question for Tomoko, we'll make sure it gets to her. And then again, go check out C3D. So go to c3d.io and check out what they're doing and reach out. And otherwise, I will be back here. Actually, that's a note I have. I don't think I'm doing one of these next Tuesday. Typically, we do these every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. PST. But I'm moving to Vancouver. I'm in Ireland. I'm moving back to Vancouver this weekend. And my plans kept getting canceled and rearranged, and so we didn't think that I'd be here next Tuesday, so we haven't got one booked for next week. So I will see you back here probably March 3rd then. We have our March founder chats already booked, but if you really want to watch founder chats, just go to our YouTube or IGTV, and we have over 35 of them there with people just as incredible as Tomoko. So come and join us there. Yeah, thanks again for your time, Tomoko. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, it was great catching up.
Mhm.
Bye, everyone.